give some very practical advice to moms who are feeling really overwhelmed and they're just feeling like, I just can't do this another day. Everything's a mess. My life is chaos. How in the world do they move forward?
Well, I first want to start with, you mentioned the gaps. And I think that that is something that we get caught up in, because when I started homeschooling, like I wanted to cover everything. I wanted to give my kids the best education ever, and there was not going to be a single gap anywhere. And what I've realized after years is that every education has gaps. I mean, you could spend $150,000 a year for the best prep school there is, and your child will still have gaps in their education. So as a homeschool mom, we need to not fall into that trap of feeling like if we don't teach them everything, then we'll fail, because learning is a lifelong process. And what we need to really do is give them the roots and the love of learning so that they can become lifelong learners and become well educated as a matter of practice, not just when they're in school. So I think that's the first place to start, because I know that when I started kindergarten, like I was trying to teach her everything there was to ever teach, and at one point I had like 12 different subjects on the roster. And now that we're coming towards the end and she's, probably about a year or two away from finishing because she's just rapidly wants to get through it, I realized that there's no way that I could have taught her everything. And every once in a while, I think, oh, there was this and there was that. And I've realized all I can do is give her that foundation, like that Sound Foundation, which is where I came up with the name and the wings, and, set her free and know that I did the best I possibly could. Was it perfect? No. Could I have done some things better? Yes. But at the end of the day, I did everything I possibly could, and I gave it my all. And I just let God do the rest. So I think that's a first place to start to eliminate overwhelm.
Yeah. Let me say something on that really quickly too, is I feel like if we push our kids so hard because we feel like we have an agenda that has to be met, we've got all these boxes that we need to check off.
Yes.
Oftentimes what I've seen happen is that it really puts a strain on our relationship with our children, because then it becomes so much about the academics and checking off the boxes instead of building that relationship with our kids. And like you said, and we're actually going to talk about this in the next episode, is nurturing a love of learning and teaching our kids how to learn. And so I think building that relationship with them is so much more important than the academics, because when you have that, then they're going to be more willing to learn anyway. I hear about moms who their kids are kicking and screaming and throwing tantrums, and they're like, they don't want to learn. They don't want to do anything with school. And oftentimes I'm like, just take a step back, drop school for a little while. And by school, I mean the academic part of it, but drop the academics for a little while, build that relationship with your kids, and then slowly bring it back in. You don't have to do everything at once. I mean, you said you had a list of 12 different things you had to do, and you realized that there's just no way that's going to work.
Yes.
But building those relationships with our kids, and then slowly bringing in the other things that you want them to learn and teach them how to love learning those things.